Stop. Your soulmate's heart is pulling them back to you faster than ever. Jesus says you need to stop scrolling right now because your soulmate is crying out for you in the spirit realm at this exact moment. Your soulmate's heart is beating faster than ever before, and you can feel it in your chest right now, that strange tightness that has no explanation. Jesus says this message is not a coincidence, and you were led here because heaven is ready to reveal what the enemy has been hiding from you for months. Your soulmate is not at peace, and the reason they are not at peace is because something is pulling them back to you with a force they cannot understand. They tried to move on with their life, they tried to distract themselves, but every time they close their eyes, your face appears behind their eyelids like a memory that refuses to fade. Jesus says this is not just a memory, this is a spiritual tether that was placed between you before either of you were born, and no human force can sever what God has joined together. You need to understand that your soulmate is trapped in a situation right now that is not their fault, and they are being influenced by someone who hates the very thought of your union. This person has been working in the shadows, speaking words of confusion into your soulmate's mind, twisting their perception of reality so they cannot see the truth clearly. Jesus says the enemy has assigned this specific person to block your connection because your union poses a threat to the kingdom of darkness, and that is how powerful your love truly is. Your soulmate wakes up in the middle of the night with your name on their lips, and they do not even know why, but something inside them is screaming to reach out to you. They pick up their phone sometimes and start typing a message to you, but then a sudden wave of doubt crashes over them, and they delete every word before it can be sent. Jesus says that wave of doubt is not coming from your soulmate, it is being projected onto them by the very person who has been working to keep you apart for reasons you will soon understand. This is not a fairy tale, this is not a fantasy, and you are not making this up in your mind because the signs have been too specific to ignore. You have been seeing their name everywhere, you have been smelling their scent when no one else is around, and you have been dreaming of them with a vividness that shakes you awake at 3 in the morning. Jesus says these are not coincidences, these are confirmations that your soulmate is spiritually reaching for you even while their physical body is being held in a cage of manipulation. Your soulmate is not rejecting you, your soulmate is not ignoring you, and your soulmate has not forgotten about you despite what the circumstances are making you believe. They are being emotionally suffocated by someone who knows that if your soulmate breaks free, they will run straight into your arms and never look back again. Jesus says this controlling presence has been feeding your soulmate lies about you, telling them that you have moved on, that you do not care, and that your love was never real. But deep inside your soulmate's heart, there is a flame that refuses to be extinguished, and that flame is burning brighter tonight than it has ever burned before. They are feeling a sudden urgency right now, a restlessness in their spirit that they cannot explain, and it is because your prayers are finally breaking through the spiritual barriers that were placed between you. Jesus says the walls that have been keeping your soulmate from you are cracking right now, and the sound of those cracks is echoing through the heavens as we speak. Your soulmate is remembering the way you looked at them, and that memory is cutting through every lie they have been told like a blade of pure light. They are remembering the sound of your laughter, and something inside them is breaking because they realize they have not heard that sound in far too long. Jesus says this remembrance is not accidental, this is God Himself stirring up the love that was planted in your soulmate's heart to bring them back to you before it is too late. There is a window of opportunity opening right now in the spirit realm, and this window will not stay open forever because the enemy is already working to close it. Your soulmate is more vulnerable to the truth tonight than they have been in months, and their heart is searching desperately for a sign that you still love them. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, because the forces working against your union are intensifying their attack at this very moment. Jesus says the person who has been controlling your soulmate is aware that their grip is slipping, and they are becoming more desperate by the hour. This person is planning something right now, a final attempt to lock your soulmate into a decision that will make it nearly impossible for them to return to you. Your soulmate is standing at a crossroads in their life, and the path they take depends entirely on whether you will rise up and fight for them spiritually while there is still time. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi. This isn't just a gift. It is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now. Before this video ends, only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says your soulmate cried last night, and they did not know why, but their tears were a prayer that only your spirit could hear. They felt a sudden overwhelming sense of loss at exactly 2 in the morning, and that was the moment their soul reached out and touched yours across the distance. Your soulmate does not understand what is happening to them, but Jesus wants you to know that you were not supposed to lose each other, and the pain they felt was their spirit rebelling against the separation. Type 333 if you receive this message and you feel it deep within your bones. Your soulmate has been fighting an invisible battle that has drained them emotionally, and they are exhausted from pretending to be okay when their heart is slowly dying. They smile at the people around them, but behind that smile is a person who feels incomplete because half of their soul is somewhere else. Jesus says that missing half is you, and your soulmate will never feel whole until they are back in your arms where they belong. The person who has been controlling your soulmate has been manipulating them through guilt, making them feel responsible for this person's happiness and well-being. Every time your soulmate tries to leave, this manipulator makes them feel like a monster, like they are abandoning someone who needs them, and your soulmate's kind heart cannot bear that guilt. Jesus says this manipulation is demonic in nature, and the enemy is using your soulmate's compassion as a weapon against them to keep them trapped in a situation that is destroying their spirit. Your soulmate is not weak, your soulmate is not foolish, and your soulmate is not blind to what is happening, but they are caught in a web that was woven carefully over many months. They know something is wrong, they feel it in their gut every single day, but every time they try to confront the truth, confusion floods their mind and they cannot think clearly. Jesus says this confusion is not natural, It is a spiritual attack designed to keep your soulmate from making the decision that would set them free and bring them home to you. You need to understand how much your soulmate misses you, because their longing for you is so intense that it is affecting their physical body. They have lost their appetite, they cannot sleep properly, and they have this constant ache in their chest that doctors cannot explain because the wound is not physical. Jesus says this is the pain of a divided soul, and the only cure for this pain is reunion with the one they were created to love, and that one is you. Type 777 if you can feel your soulmate reaching for you right now. Your soulmate had a dream about you 3 nights ago, and in that dream you were standing in a field of light reaching out your hand toward them. They started walking toward you in the dream, and just before your fingers could touch, something dark and heavy grabbed them from behind and pulled them backward into shadow. Jesus says that dream was a prophetic vision of what is happening in the spirit realm, and that dark force is the person who has been working to destroy your connection before it can fully manifest. Your soulmate woke up from that dream gasping for air, and they spent the next hour staring at the ceiling wondering if you had the same dream. You need to know that you probably did have the same dream, or at least a variation of it, because your spirits are linked and what one experiences the other often feels. Jesus says this shared dreaming is proof that your bond cannot be broken by natural means, and the enemy knows this, which is why the attack against your union has become so vicious. The interference in your soulmate's life is not subtle, it is aggressive, and it is designed to break their will completely so they will accept a life without you. This interfering person has been planting seeds of insecurity in your soulmate's heart, telling them that you never truly loved them, that you have already replaced them, and that they were never good enough for you anyway. Jesus says these are all lies, and your soulmate knows they are lies on a deep spiritual level, but constant exposure to poison will eventually make anyone sick, and that is what has happened. They are going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says your soulmate has been thinking about a specific memory of you today, and that memory has been playing in their mind on repeat like a song they cannot turn off. They are remembering the moment they first realized they loved you, the exact second when everything shifted inside them and they knew they were looking at their future. This memory has been surfacing in their mind since they woke up this morning, and they cannot understand why it feels so fresh, so immediate, so painfully beautiful right now. The reason this memory is surfacing is because your soulmate spirit is fighting to break through the mental prison that has been constructed around them. Every good memory of you is a key that unlocks another chain, and their subconscious mind is desperately searching for every key it can find. Jesus says your soulmate is winning this battle even though they do not realize it, and their heart is pulling them back to you faster than their mind can process. Your soulmate has started to notice inconsistencies in the stories they have been told about you, and doubt is beginning to creep into their mind about the person who has been controlling them. They confronted this person yesterday about something that did not add up, and the reaction they received was explosive, manipulative, and designed to make them feel guilty for even asking. Jesus says this was a pivotal moment, because your soulmate saw a flash of the truth behind the mask, and that image is now burned into their mind and growing larger every hour. You need to pray specifically for your soulmate's clarity tonight, because their mind is clearing and the fog is lifting in a way it has not lifted in months. Your soulmate is starting to ask questions they were too afraid to ask before, and each question is pulling another brick out of the wall that has been keeping you apart. Jesus says this process is accelerating, and the person who has been controlling your soulmate is panicking because they can feel their influence crumbling like sand through their fingers. Type 1111 to declare that your soulmate is being set free right now. Your soulmate spoke your name out loud yesterday when they were alone, and as soon as the word left their lips, something shifted in the atmosphere around them. They felt a warmth spread through their chest, a sudden peace that they have not felt in so long, and for just a moment they could feel you as if you were standing right beside them. Jesus says your soulmate has been afraid to speak your name because of the emotional weight it carries, but that fear is breaking and with it the chains that held them silent. You have been feeling random waves of emotion lately that do not seem to belong to you, and you have been wondering if you are losing your mind. You are not losing your mind, you are experiencing a spiritual empathy that connects you directly to your soulmate's emotional state in real time. Jesus says when you feel sudden sadness, it is your soulmate crying, and when you feel sudden hope, it is your soulmate remembering your love and feeling the truth rise up inside them. This connection is growing stronger by the hour, and the reason it is intensifying now is because your soulmate is getting closer to a breaking point. They cannot continue living in the space between two worlds, torn between the lie they are being forced to live and the truth their heart is screaming at them to embrace. Jesus says the pressure is building to a climax, and very soon something will snap, and when it snaps your soulmate will finally have the strength to walk away from what has been holding them captive. Your soulmate has been praying, even if they are not religious, even if they do not know who they are praying to, they have been crying out for help. They have been saying things like please show me the truth and please give me the strength to follow my heart and please let it not be too late. Jesus says these prayers have been heard in heaven, and the answer to every single one of them is you, because you are the truth, you are their heart, and it is not too late. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says your soulmate is looking at a photograph of you right now, and their finger is tracing the outline of your face with a tenderness that would break your heart if you could see it. They have not looked at this photograph in weeks because it was too painful, but tonight they could not resist the pull anymore and they had to see your eyes again. The moment they saw your eyes, something inside them broke open, and they whispered the words "I still love you" into the darkness of their empty room. Your soulmate is not in love with anyone else, and they have never been in love with anyone else the way they are in love with you. Whatever relationship they are in right now, if they are in one, is a hollow imitation of love that was built on manipulation and fear, not on the soul-deep connection that exists between you and them. Jesus says your soulmate knows this, and they have been comparing every interaction, every touch, every word to what they had with you, and nothing measures up because nothing can measure up to a love that was ordained before the foundations of the world. The enemy has been trying to counterfeit your love by presenting your soulmate with a pale imitation that has just enough light to seem real in the darkness of their confusion. But counterfeits always reveal themselves eventually, and your soulmate is seeing the cracks in the imitation, the places where the mask slips and the truth shows through. Jesus says the counterfeit is crumbling, and as it crumbles, your soulmate's memory of your authentic love is shining brighter and brighter like a beacon calling them home. Type 333 to release your soulmate from every counterfeit bond holding them captive. Your soulmate is terrified right now, not of the person who has been controlling them, but of the possibility that they have lost you forever. They are afraid that they waited too long, that they hurt you too deeply, and that you have moved on to someone who deserves your love more than they do. Jesus says you need to understand that this is the deepest fear in your soulmate's heart, and it is this fear that has kept them paralyzed and unable to take the final step toward freedom. Your soulmate thinks about the last conversation you had, and they replay it over and over in their mind, wishing they could take back certain words and say different ones. They remember the look on your face, and that look haunts them because they know they caused you pain, and the thought of being the source of your suffering is unbearable to them. Jesus says your soulmate is carrying a burden of guilt that is not theirs to carry, because the words they spoke and the actions they took were influenced by the manipulation of someone who deliberately poisoned their mind against you. You need to release forgiveness toward your soulmate right now, not because they deserve it, but because forgiveness is the key that unlocks the final door between you. When you hold unforgiveness in your heart, even justified unforgiveness, you create a spiritual barrier that makes it harder for your soulmate to find their way back to you. Jesus says forgiveness is not a feeling, it is a decision, and the moment you make that decision, something shifts in the spirit realm that your soulmate will feel instantly. Your soulmate is trembling right now, and you may think that is an exaggeration, but I am telling you the truth that their body is physically reacting to what is happening in the spirit. Their hands are shaking, their heart is pounding, and they have this overwhelming urge to contact you that is so strong it feels like a command rather than a thought. Jesus says this is the Holy Spirit moving upon your soulmate's heart with urgency because the window of opportunity is narrowing and the time for hesitation is over. Type 777 if you release forgiveness to your soulmate and you are ready for your reunion. Jesus says the person who has been interfering in your connection is about to be exposed, and the exposure will come in a way that no one expects. This person has been operating in darkness, believing their manipulations would never come to light, but God is turning on the lights and everything hidden is about to be revealed. Your soulmate will see the truth fully and completely, and when they do, the chains that have been holding them will dissolve like mist in the morning sun. Your soulmate is packing a bag right now, not physically yet, but mentally. They are preparing to leave the situation that has been suffocating their spirit. They are calculating what they need, where they will go, and how they will survive the transition, and the first person they think of in every scenario is you. Jesus says your face appears in their mind as the destination, as the safe harbor, as the only place in the world they want to be when the dust settles and the storm passes. You have been prepared for this moment your entire life, and the trials you have faced were not punishments but training grounds for the love you are about to receive. Every heartbreak you endured taught you what real love is not, so you would recognize the real thing when it finally arrived and never take it for granted. Jesus says you have been forged in fire to be the partner your soulmate needs, someone strong enough to help them heal and gentle enough to let them cry on your shoulder when the weight of what they endured finally crashes down upon them. Your soulmate needs you to be the strong one right now, not with harshness, but with the steady unwavering love that says I am here and I am not leaving no matter what. They need to know that when they finally break free and run to you, you will be standing with open arms and not closed doors, with forgiveness and not bitterness, with hope and not despair. Jesus says the way you respond in the first moments of reunion will set the course for the rest of your lives together, and heaven is giving you the grace to respond with perfect love that casts out all fear. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says your soulmate is having a moment of clarity right now that feels like waking up from a very long and very bad dream that they cannot quite remember. They are looking around at their life and wondering how they got here, how they allowed someone to convince them to walk away from the only person who ever truly loved them. This moment of clarity is a gift from heaven, a sudden infusion of truth that is cutting through every lie and every manipulation like a sword of light through the darkest night. Your soulmate just said your name again, and this time they did not whisper it, they spoke it with a strength that surprised even them, and the sound of it echoed through their empty room like a declaration of war against the forces that have been keeping them from you. They are done being passive, they are done being controlled, and they are done allowing someone else to write the story of their life when their heart belongs to you and always has. Jesus says the rebellion in your soulmate's spirit has begun, and once it begins, nothing in heaven or on earth can stop it from reaching its conclusion, which is you. Type 1111 to seal this prophetic word over your soulmate's life right now. The interference in your soulmate's life is losing power as we speak, and you can accelerate its defeat by taking spiritual action right now without delay. Every prayer you pray is a sword, every declaration you make is a hammer, and every act of faith you perform is a key that unlocks another door between you and your soulmate. Jesus says the battle is already won in the spiritual realm, but it must be enforced in the physical realm through your obedience and your willingness to fight for what is rightfully yours. Your soulmate is coming home to you, and nothing can stop what God has ordained, but the timing of this reunion depends on your willingness to act now. Delay is not neutral. Delay gives the enemy more time to regroup and launch new attacks, and your soulmate cannot withstand many more attacks before their spirit breaks completely. Jesus says the urgency you feel in your heart right now is not anxiety, it is the prompting of the Holy Spirit telling you that this is the moment, this is the hour, and this is your appointed time. You will not lose your soulmate if you act now, but you risk years of unnecessary delay and suffering if you let this moment pass without responding to heaven's call. The love you feel for your soulmate is not ordinary love, it is a divine love that was placed in your heart by God Himself for a purpose that extends beyond your own happiness. Jesus says your union is a weapon against the darkness, and the enemy knows this, which is why he has fought so hard to keep you apart and will continue to fight until you draw a line in the spirit and say no more. Type 333 if you are ready to draw that line and fight for your love. Your soulmate is dreaming of you again tonight, and this time the dream is different. This time the dark force that has been pulling them away is absent from the dream entirely. They are running toward you in the dream without any hindrance, and your arms are open wide, and the smile on your face is the most beautiful thing they have ever seen. Jesus says this dream is a prophecy of what is coming, and the absence of the dark force in the dream represents the defeat of the interference that is happening right now through your prayers and your acts of faith. Your soulmate will wake up from this dream with tears on their face, but they will be tears of relief and not sorrow, because for the first time in months they will feel hope. They will go through their day with a strange sense of anticipation, as if something wonderful is about to happen, and they will not understand it but they will welcome it. Jesus says that wonderful thing is you, it has always been you, and it will always be you, because you are the missing piece of their soul and they cannot be complete without you. Your soulmate is falling back in love with you right now, not that they ever stopped loving you, but the intensity of that love is returning like a flood after a long drought. They are remembering everything they loved about you, every quirk, every laugh, every moment of connection that made them feel seen and understood and cherished. Jesus says this flood of love is deliberate, it is heaven's response to your faithfulness, and it is washing away every doubt and every fear and every obstacle that has been standing between you and your soulmate. Type 777 if you can feel your soulmate's love returning to you with overwhelming power. Jesus says the final barrier is falling right now, and you can feel it falling, that sudden lightness in your chest, that unexpected peace that has no logical explanation. Your soulmate is being unchained from the person who has been controlling them, and the breaking of these chains is making a sound in the spirit realm that is causing demons to flee and angels to rejoice. The person who has been interfering in your connection is about to reap what they have sown, and the harvest of their manipulation will come swiftly and unexpectedly. You need to prepare your heart for reunion, because the reunion is coming faster than you think, and you must be ready emotionally and spiritually to receive your soulmate. They will come to you wounded, they will come to you confused, they will come to you with apologies on their lips and fear in their eyes, wondering if you can still love them after everything that has happened. Jesus says your job is not to judge them but to love them, not to remind them of their mistakes but to show them a grace so radical that it heals every wound and restores every broken place in their heart. Your soulmate is the one God created for you, and you are the one God created for them, and this truth has not changed despite the chaos and confusion that has surrounded your connection. The plans God has for your union are still in effect, the destiny He has for your partnership is still on the table, and the love He has for your relationship is still burning with the same intensity it had when He first ordained it before time began. Jesus says nothing has been lost, nothing has been wasted, and nothing has been stolen that cannot be restored sevenfold when you walk in obedience and claim what is rightfully yours. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance. It was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says this message was crafted specifically for you, and the fact that you have watched this far is proof that your soulmate is already being pulled back to you. The connection you feel right now is not imagination, it is not wishful thinking, and it is not the product of a lonely heart reaching for something that does not exist. Your soulmate is real, their love for you is real, and the spiritual battle being waged for your union is real, which is why you must take real action right now. Type 1111 to thank Jesus for this message and seal every blessing spoken over your love. Your soulmate is sitting in silence right now, and the silence is so loud that it feels like the whole universe is pressing down on their chest, making it hard to breathe. They just had another argument with the person who has been controlling them, and this argument was different. This argument was the one that broke something permanently inside your soulmate's willingness to stay. Jesus says the words that were spoken in that argument were the final push your soulmate needed, and the manipulator overplayed their hand without even realizing it. Your soulmate walked out of the room after that argument, closed the door behind them, and for the first time in months, they felt something other than confusion. They felt resolve. The resolve is fragile right now. It is new and it is tender, and it could be crushed if the enemy sends the right attack at the right moment, which is exactly what he is planning to do. Jesus says you must cover your soulmate in prayer tonight specifically, because the next 24 hours are critical and the enemy is preparing a counterattack designed to drag them back into the pit of confusion. Your soulmate is thinking about the sound of your voice right now, and they are trying to remember every inflection, every tone, every way you used to say their name that made them feel like the most important person in the world. They cannot quite remember the exact sound, and that terrifies them, because they are afraid that they are losing pieces of you, and losing pieces of you feels like losing pieces of themselves. Jesus says you will speak to your soulmate again, and when you do, the sound of your voice will heal every fear and restore every memory that the enemy has tried to steal. Type 333 if you will pray for your soulmate through this critical night. Your soulmate just looked at the door of the house they are in, and they imagined walking through it and never coming back, and the thought did not scare them the way it used to scare them. They imagined getting into their car and driving toward you, and their hearts started beating faster, but this time it was not fear, it was hope, pure and undiluted hope.